Hello and welcome back to this episode of the In My Era podcast. We are back after the social media break and we are back on video because I realized over my social media break that I think the video component of podcasts sometimes makes them a little bit more real, and so I decided I wanted to do that. This social media break has been, honestly, a little bit of a fail. I've definitely scrolled on Instagram, TikTok a few dozen times, to say the least. But to get into this episode, I wanted to kind of just refresh the podcast and kind of just clarify, I think, what this podcast is to me, for me, why I do it, the intention behind it, because then I think it makes a little bit more sense. So, first, let's just get into why I took a break on social media. The reality of the situation was I had a bit of an identity crisis and I felt insecure about the content that I was posting on the internet. That last episode that I made that I then deleted, I just didn't feel confident standing behind that because I was talking about, to me, very serious topics like sex. That is very serious to me. That's something that I want to take serious when I talk about it. And I didn't feel confident with what I was putting out, and I did not feel confident in the backlash that I received from it. It really made me doubt myself, and it made me kind of lose sight a bit of my intention with this podcast. And so I'm here to remind myself, to let you guys all know that every time that I'm posting an episode, every time that I'm posting an Instagram picture or a random TikTok thing, I am posting things on social media, A, for entertainment, and B, because social media, genuinely, this is stupid, it means a lot to me. Social media means the world to me. And let me explain why, because that is something that is a little bit crazy to say. I've touched on it a little bit before, but because I had such a rough childhood and I was going through so much, social media was an escape for me. And I genuinely feel like social media saved my life because it showed me that there were possibilities. There were opportunities out there that were so much bigger than my home circumstance. So I would be going through some traumatic things, it would be going on in the household, and I would just, go on the tablet and watch some YouTube about some guy that lives in San Diego and just has a ton of fun. And I want to be able to be an escape, I think, for people, especially who are going through something. I want people to feel safe to watch my videos, to see my posts, to see my podcast, whatever, and just kind of feel like they can escape whatever it is that they're going through for a little bit and be reminded of kind of positivity and authenticity, and just a reminder that in general things get better and we're all learning and growing through things at the same time. That's exactly the same and completely different. So that's my intention. Social media sucks. Social media sucks so bad, but I love it so much. I think social media is one of those things where it really is what you make of it. And I think over the last few months, I hadn't really been making the most of it. I was letting the toxic parts of it kind of get to me. I would be scrolling for so long, and then I would remember, okay, I pay how much in rent to live in San Diego, and I am inside scrolling on my phone. And it wasn't even like I was watching educational content. It was like I was watching the drama videos of Brooke Schofield and Clinton Kane and that one redhead girl and Hallie Kate. I was watching the drama. I wasn't even in on it. And that's where I say social media sucks. But I think social media, the reason why I love it is because I feel like it gives me the opportunity to have space for myself, where I just get to be me, hopefully. And yes, it's not 100% me, because I don't think anyone can ever be 100% authentic on social media as they are in real life, because there are literally just some things you can't post online, okay? But yeah, that was my intention. With the podcast and this whole last year, when I started the podcast, I never thought about it too much. Like, I tried to think about it, but genuinely, it was one of those things where I wanted to do it. I just had to jump in feet first and do it. And therefore, I don't think that it was as good of quality as I wanted. Sometimes I would just put out episodes that were like shit talks, because not shit talks, like I would never talk shit about people, but I would just talk about random things because I felt like I had to get it out. And this time around, my little refresh, I want to have more of a plan. I want to be more clear on my intention for social media and more, I don't know, just thoughtful, I think, than I have been this last year. I just think I'm growing, and I have realized that I love this podcast and I love social media, and I want to be posting things correctly, or as correctly as I can, and I want to be putting in real effort into it because I love it. I seriously love it. So, yes, that was what it is. I think also this social media break, it was a really good time for me to remind myself of who I am and to take a step back to just kind of focus on myself and just be a reminder that you have to be taking care of yourself in order for your dreams to kind of work out. Also, can we just talk about the dog? Like, a puppy is so much, and that has honestly been one of the hardest things. And I don't think, talked too much about that, but the social media break was really good for that as well, because it really just gave me time to try and focus on the dog. And also, like, the amount of times that I've genuinely thought about rehoming the dog, and that I would just have sobbing meltdowns because I just felt like I'm trying so hard and I'm not doing good enough. That's been really hard. So this break has been super nice for me to really, really reflect on what kind of dog parent I want to be, if I think I can really handle it, like to be the quality dog parent that I want to be right now. And just to kind of lean into my support system a bit more than I have been. This last year, I got really, really, really stuck in a comfort zone of talking to my same, like, 3 friends, of going to bed at a similar time, of just going to the same places. And this last month, and like through conversations with some of my best friends, it's really opened my mind to being like, okay, I need to get out of my box. I need to get out of my comfort zone. I need to change my routine that I'm used to for this dog to fit into my lifestyle, because I got this puppy and it wasn't going well because I was still trying to live my life the same as I was before I got a dog. But that's impossible because now I have this huge responsibility that needs me, you know? Like, he needs me, and I need to make him the top priority in my life, honestly, because he's a puppy. He needs that. And so, yeah, whatever. This has been very, very good for that. I think overall, just social media breaks and breaks from everything that you're doing can be really, really good to just give you a refresh moment, to bring you back to reality, to remind you of why you're doing what you're doing in the first place, because it can be so easy to just get wrapped up in our relationships that we have, in our work, in our routine, in our every single thing that we do, that we forget what we want to do and why we want to do it. And so I guess if you're thinking, hey, maybe I should take a little break from social media, or maybe I should take a little break from my passion project or whatever it is, you should. I genuinely think that you should. I won't lie, I didn't do a good job at my social media break. Like I said, I did not do a good job. But as someone who's had like a crippling phone addiction for the last year, I did a lot better than I have been doing. And so, baby steps, I'm trying to just be proud of myself. I guess if you're here with me, I just want to be really real with you for a second. I feel kind of emotional. I'm grateful for anyone watching, anyone listening, anyone here who is letting me have this space to just learn. Genuinely, I feel like that's what it is. I feel like I am learning and growing, and I get to hopefully entertain people, distract people when needed, inspire people sometimes, to help show them what not to do. I'm really, really grateful for you being here. And I just want everyone to know, like, I have pure intentions. I'm not out here trying to be a pick-me girl. Sometimes I'm like, fuck, Haley, you sound like a pick-me girl. Seriously. I do sometimes. I seriously do. And that really upsets me, and I'm really hard on myself, and I get so angry at myself for sounding like a pick-me girl sometimes. But I think to fix that, I just need to love myself a little bit more and really focus on my confidence. I've really been reminded of that. Hopefully you're feeling confident today. If you're not, it's okay. You're not alone. We all have those days. But yeah, social media, it sucks. It's such a toxic, overwhelming, heavy place to be. But we all have the opportunity to change that. Our social media literally is what we make of it. So I'm going to do my best with this podcast, with the media that I'm consuming, to make it good and bright and real and honest as much as I can. And yeah, I don't know. That's, I guess, all I have to say for this episode. But I love you if you're here. I'm doing my best. And I'll see you guys next week. Welcome back to the episode, guys. We're going to get episode to the podcast, whatever the fuck. We're going to get into it this year, and I'm really excited.